Hello there. Thanks for watching my views on news. Three news stories. Firstly, a tragic incident on Oromia-Amhara border. Not exactly on the border, around 40-50 kilometers away from this border, Oromia-Amhara border. This massacre has been committed. Dozens have been killed and injured in this horrific attack. Details for you. Is Fano involved in this attack, which happened on Oromia side of the border? Secondly, Kobo. What is the latest? Any fighting in Kobo? Because yesterday we saw heavy clashes. On Thursday, there were heavy clashes around Kobo in eastern, southern, northern sides. So what is the latest? And thirdly, an Egyptian opposition party is demanding explanation from the government. Egyptian opposition party wants clarity about Ethiopian next plans. Does Ethiopia want to build new dams, more dams on the river, Blue Nile River? Firstly, viewers, first story is from the Oromia region of Ethiopia. Several news sources, Afan Oromo and others are reporting about an incident which happened in Oromia on Thursday, in which 30 casualties are being confirmed, 30 killed, several injured. The incident happened in East Valaga zone of Oromia. East Valaga shares border with the Amhara region. East Valaga zone, Gidda Ayana district, Dicho. Tolo Dicho is the name of the locality where this incident happened. Some Oromos, I think, who were in a vehicle, they were attacked. They were killed. Who were the attackers? Here, conflicting reporting, or you can say different reporting from Oromia sources. OMN is accusing Fano fighters. Several Oromo activists are saying that Fano fighters entered Oromia from Amhara and they carried out this attack on Oromos. Oromos killed civilians. These civilians were reportedly on their way to attend a funeral of their relatives who were killed by security forces, one member of security forces this week. So, some sources reporting that Fano fighters from Amhara enter Oromia, which is not very likely because this town where the incident happened is around 50 kilometers away from Amhara border. So, I don't think that fighters from Amhara entered Oromia. There could be involvement of local Amhara armed elements. Last year, if you remember, I did some videos about Oromo-Amhara clashes in Valaga. I reported several incidents. And back then, I shared information with you that in Oromia, in Valaga, North Shore, ethnic Amharas were being armed. Local level Fano factions were being formed last year on Kabale level, on town level. And these factions were being armed. These factions consisted of dozens of youths of the village. And back then, we reported that according to Amhara ethnic group members, they were forming these self-defense groups because Amharas were being massacred by Oromia security forces, OLA. And some Amharas were killed in large number in some incidents a few months ago. All this happened before the start of conflict in the Amhara region. So already armed Amhara groups were being organized, raised in Valaga, North Shore. To some extent, East Shore, mainly North Shore and Valaga, East Valaga, Orogodoro Valaga. Oromia regional security head, who is a colonel, he did not blame Fano from Amhara in his talk with the BBC. He said there are local armed Amhara elements who are involved in this attack. It does not mean that Fano fighters have not carried out any attacks on Oromia. Yes, they have. I have reported their entry in Horogodoro Valaga, in North Shore, in East Shore. But they did not go deep into Oromia. They just entered border towns, Mandida, Gundamaskal, and Horogodoro Valaga. They did not go deep into Oromia like 100 kilometers deep, etc. So all attacks by Fano fighters from Amhara were on border, in border area. This one is deep, a little deep, 50 kilometers deep. So it's, I don't think that Fano fighters from Amhara are involved in this attack. There is local tension between Oromos and Amharas, ongoing for years. Ola is a party too here. Security forces are parties too. There are government-backed militias too. Two factions of Ola operating here. Figad Abdisa group, Kumsa Dereva group. There are several parties. And it seems that this incident was caused by local Amhara Oromo ethnic tension. And Oromia government has been trying to disarm local Amhara population unsuccessfully. And I reported 2 days ago about Oromia government's attempt to arm Oromos in West Shava, Abuna Gindabad, which are border with Amhara. Local Oromos are being armed in Jeldo too. So Oromia government is arming local Oromos. Amhara is being armed by themselves and by groups in Amhara. Groups in Amhara support the arming of Amharas in Oromia region. And Fano fighters, they claim that North Shore, Valaga, should be part of the Amhara region. So this is the situation. People lost their lives. Truth will never come out. Here, both ethnic group members have been massacred in the past. Dozens, hundreds of Amharas massacred last year. Oromos too in some cases. And now in this incident, 31 Oromos mostly. And several, 31 killed and several injured reportedly. Secondly, viewers, Kobo, what is the latest? It was yesterday, there was heavy fighting around Kobo on Zobel, between Kobo and Vaja, Kobo and Kobo Robert. And Mere Vodajo confirmed the scale of fighting in an interview last night. Relative calm in Kobo, no gunfire heard in Kobo, but people fleeing. Because Fano fighters are in Kobo, in the outskirts of Kobo, and they're still in control of Zobel, reportedly. So, since they're in control of Zobel, it means that military will have to dislodge them from Zobel. Otherwise, they can hit military easily. Military is in control of Zobel and other mountainous places, but somehow Fano fighters retook these places, military to retreat. And then from there, they managed to capture some outskirts of Kobo town. So Kobo is not fully under the control of Fano fighters, but they are in the outskirts reportedly, close to the city, in control of strategic place. Overall, no gunfire, no exchange of fire on a Friday. Much of the fighting was on a Thursday, but both sides holding on to their positions, and here resumption of hostilities on the cards, because military will not allow Fano fighters to remain in control of these strategic places. And we are seeing East Amhara Fano asserting itself by showing its presence. We saw fighting in the outskirts of Wuldia too this morning. And East Amhara Fano in control of the strategic places close to Kobo too. Thirdly, viewers, Egypt. An Egyptian opposition party is demanding clarity from the government about Ethiopian intentions about building of new dams on the Blue Nile River. GERD, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, is a source of conflict between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan. Downstream River Nile countries, Sudan and Egypt, they have been opposing the construction of GERD. They have been threatening Ethiopia, but Ethiopia somehow managed to build the dam, and it successfully completed fourth filling of the dam. Talks were held several times in the past. Recently, the two sides met in Egypt, three sides rather. And second round of talks going to start in Addis Ababa. It could be postponed too, because Egypt not happy with fourth filling of the dam done by Ethiopian government a few days ago, announced by Ethiopian PM, Mr. Abiy. Justice Party is an Egyptian opposition party. It has written a letter to Egyptian Foreign Ministry and Irrigation Ministry. The party is demanding clarity about intentions of Ethiopian government. The party says that is there any international guarantee that Ethiopia will not build more dams apart from GERD on the Blue Nile River? Egypt wants a legally binding agreement with Ethiopia about the operations of the dam. Good. What about other dams which Ethiopia might be planning? Very valid point raised by this Egyptian opposition party. Comprehensive dialogue is needed between Ethiopia, Sudan and Egypt. That is the way forward. But Ethiopia does not want to sign any legally binding agreement, which could be a problem for Ethiopia. Ethiopia says it will share details of the operation of the dam, but no one can bind down Ethiopia to some strict sort of agreement. Tension there. Will there be second round of talks in Addis Ababa, which was announced a few days ago when the three parties met in Cairo, Egypt? Let's see what happens. So for tensions there, and I think this issue of building of new dams on River Nile will be raised by Egypt now in Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan talks second round, which could be held in coming days. Thank you for watching.